Yeah. Get high rapper. The man hour. You already know. It's live. It's raw. It's going down. Like this. I'm going around and letting everybody know that they welcome to the show. It's the latest thing you ever seen, you already know. Let me introduce you to your host of the hour. Hit me Mike and Mike. Yeah, it's the man hour. Got the hottest plays, all the breaking news. Every rumor, every trade, every breaking bruise. Tighten knuckle screws. Yeah, it's going down. Have you saying what the fuck and never watered down. It's going down. I'll be rolling up. And if you buy it or you sell it, then you made the cut. Watch me flip it back. I can double up. I got sriracha for that ass, I'ma burn it up. Gotta check the rules and know that it be fair and foul. Rap blow the whistle, coach throw the towel. We can do this on the field or outside the
story
lines.
too.
It's the man hour though, now we going live.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhouse here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com and check out the new merchandise page. We have Beastie Perch that has just dropped. Check it out. We got leggings, got hoodies, got t-shirts, got hats, got everything that you could possibly want over there. Joey's already in there, says, brah, what's up, brah? What's up, brah? Speaking of bras, the Wyatt Williams on the show tonight. What's up, brah? What's going on, brah?
What's going on, brah?
You know, man, just living the dream here. We do got a raffle going on tonight, Mr. Wyatt Williams, if you have not known it, guys. But with that being said, guys, look in the comments at youtube.com/manhour right now. And if you give me a hashtag Beastie, you'll get entered into the raffle. Why? You can enter up to 1 million times in the next hour to win this raffle. How crazy is that?
That's crazy, isn't it? And up to 1 million times. You know how much that increases your odds of winning?
I'm not for sure if it. I mean, it definitely increases your odds. I mean, definitely in your favor, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
It can only help.
Yeah, it definitely can only help. But guys, we do have first things first. Wyatt, welcome to the show. It's been what, almost 2 months since we have done a show together. You were on last week with Combs and Toy, right? Or was it just Combs?
Yep. It was just Combs.
Yeah, but so how have you been, man?
I'm good, man. Just hanging out of college, doing my thing. Trying to keep good grades while still having time to spend time with Nikki, get on the show.
Yeah.
Take a breath a little bit, watch some Squid Game, watch some football.
What the heck
have you seen Squid Game, by the way?
No, what is that? I've been meaning to ask that.
It's on Netflix. It's on projection to be the #1 Netflix show of all time right now.
Even more than Breaking Bad?
Yeah, it's seriously, it's like crazy. It's been #1 trending for I don't even know how many weeks now. It's crazy. It's a really good show. Like it's all subtitled because it's like a South Korean show.
Well, that's lame.
But
if I wanted to read a book, I would read a book.
Well, you can turn it on English, but the mouths just don't match up with the words.
Oh.
I prefer to listen to it in Korean with subtitles. I think it's just weird if you do it with English because the words don't match to the mouth, and it doesn't make much sense. So
basically what it comes down to is you are reading the movie Squid or the TV show Squid, right?
Yeah, I'm reading the Squid. Yeah, reading Squid Game, I guess.
Yeah, so
it's good though. I'm telling you, you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, so we do have some people popping in and in the chat here. Like we have Nana popping in. What's going on, Nana? We are glad you are here with us tonight. What's up, Joey? We are glad you are in here with us as well. And Mr. Drew is in here as well. So Drew, if you guys are watching this here at youtube.com/manhour, Drew has a little signal next to his name. That's because he is a member. He is a part of members only here on youtube.com/manhour. So simply hit the join button for 99 cents a month. You can become a part of Man Hour Nation. Free merch discounts, et cetera.
Speaking of Drew, look what Drew sent me. It just came in today.
Oh, nice, man. Nice. There you go. Ahmad Green
auto on a Packers helmet. It's right next to my computer.
My man.
It's awesome.
There we go, Drew. Drew, big shout out to you for sending him that out. So, Drew, spoiler alert, Drew might be getting Ahmad Green on the show as an interview as as well. So, just
that would be crazy.
Keep your eyes.
I'd be like, hey, Ahmed. You remember when you signed this?
Yeah, this one of like million helmets that you have here. No, but guys, it is time to get into some sports talk here. And if you guys were living under a rock, which I was, honestly, I was getting ready to turn off the game when it was like halfway through the fourth quarter. The Colts were up 22-3. Everything was hunky-dory. And then the floodgates open. Mr. Lamar Jackson had a pretty spectacular, as Wyatt decides to, Wyatt, you can't do that to me, man. You got to leave yourself on the stream, dude. Sheesh, man. Don't jump out again, Wyatt. I'll shoot you.
My 1 second, Buck.
Just don't leave. I have it. You're fine. Just don't leave. All right, man?
My AirPods just went out on me.
You're fine. Just push mute.
I can't.
That's okay. Just mute. Push the mute button, Wyatt. Here, let me bring on both screens so Wyatt's like, oh, what's going on? But anyways, guys, Lamar Jackson went off last night in the second quarter, or sorry, I should say the second half. He ended up with 422 yards passing, 4 touchdowns with no interceptions. A big thing here is that he had 2 pocket touchdowns, and you know that is one of the biggest flaws about Lamar Jackson's game was that he could not pass out of the pocket. So with that being said, Wyatt, can you hear me yet?
Yes.
Okay, so with that being said, Wyatt, people are coming at me saying, oh, are you ready to admit that Lamar Jackson's elite? Yada, yada, yada. Guys, he had one good half of football. Pump the brakes, okay? He finally threw the ball against a horrible Colt team. Congratulations. The Colts are now 1-4. Okay.
The Colts defense is not horrible. It's one of the best in the league.
Okay. No, they're not. Right now, the Colts defense is absolutely horrible 100%. Yes.
Darius Leonard, DeForest Buckner, Xavier Rhodes.
Sure. Keep naming all those names. It doesn't matter. I mean, Lamar Jackson had one.
How does
good
it not?
half
Justin
of football.
Tuck, there's star power everywhere.
Okay, so who cares? Star power is not a good team. Odell Beckham Jr. star power, Mr. Wyatt Williams, that man out underscore TWW. But Odell Beckham isn't that good. Let's just be honest. With that being said, Wyatt, tell me why Lamar Jackson is elite then. Tell me.
He passed for 440 yards yesterday. What else do you need to see? He had 4 passing touchdowns. He threw the ball over 40 times. He looked like an elite passer yesterday. Not just, the great runner that he is and the dual threat that he is. His arm looked good yesterday. We've seen his arm look good a couple of times, but yesterday it looked elite. It looked like one of the best arms in the league. I mean, he threw for 442, was it 442 yards passing?
442 yards, yep.
He slung the ball around for almost 450 yards and had 4 touchdowns. That is elite to me. That's like, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes-esque numbers.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell me what you want, but Drew asked how many rushing yards did he have? He only had 62 rushing yards, and I only say 62.
He only had 67?
Yeah.
I think it was 67. Yeah. Only 67?
Yeah.
That's almost 70 rushing yards.
Okay. But if you look at it, why, you can tell me all you want about how elite he is, yada, yada, yada. He is so sporadic in his games. He is so up and down. Hell, in one game, he fumbled the ball twice, or should have been 2 fumbles at the 1-yard line. Elite quarterbacks do not do that, Wyatt. Let me repeat that, Wyatt. Elite quarterbacks do not fumble the ball twice in the red zone, let alone the 1-yard line to score. Right?
Is Patrick Mahomes an elite quarterback to you?
He was last year. Now he is. He's still top 10. Yes, but I mean, elite. I mean, what do you consider elite?
I consider 400 plus passing yards, 4 touchdowns on 40 throws elite.
Okay, so in one game, so one game can make you elite, right? Ryan Fitzpatrick a couple years ago had a 404 touchdown game. Does that make him elite?
That week he was looking elite. Fitzmagic was crazy that week with Deshaun Jackson and Tampa Bay.
That week he was elite, right?
Yeah, that week. He didn't do it again, but Lamar Jackson puts up outrageous video game numbers all the time. This just happens to be the best one he's ever done. This just happens to be the first time he's ever put up video game passing numbers. We've seen him break Michael Vick's record. He rushed for 1,000 yards a couple of years ago, and now he's out here passing for 440 when the big question's always been, We've seen the athleticism. We've seen this guy can run. We've seen, how agile he is. But can he throw the ball? Can he sling the rock?
Right.
And he did. He slung it everywhere yesterday. He looked incredible.
So SSB and Pluto says Brady is the only true elite quarterback at the moment. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, Aaron Rodgers looks elite right now. Josh Allen and Kyler Murray look elite right now. There's a couple of, I know a lot of people are really hating on him right now, but I would even still consider Patrick Mahomes an elite quarterback. I just think that they haven't hit their stride yet. This is a weird year for Kansas City, but they've got all the star power. They've got all the talent they need. They're going to pick back up and hit it off eventually. But as for elite quarterbacks, yes, Brady, of course, is one. But I would say right now in the league, you've got Brady, you've got Rodgers, you've got Josh Allen especially. Josh Allen's tearing the league up.
Right. 100%.
Then when you look, do what?
I said absolutely.
Yeah, and then when you look at, you got Lamar Jackson now, I believe, fits into that category. And, you could throw Patrick Mahomes in there. I don't want to take Patrick Mahomes out of the elite conversation after just 5, and I wouldn't even say 5. I would say, 3 mediocre games. He's still, Patrick Mahomes. And that team is still the Chiefs, coached by Andy Reid. It's going to pick back up. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, you're absolutely right to an extent. But going back to Lamar Jackson, sorry, I'm trying to get the raffle working properly here. For some reason, it wasn't working, so I'm trying to get that happening. But with that being said, when you look at Lamar Jackson, okay, Wyatt, what do you see? You see a very athletic player, right? You see
with a big arm.
With a big arm that's very okay, whatever. You are absolutely ridiculous. But Jesus,
after yesterday, that was a big arm. Yesterday's Lamar was a big arm. You cannot deny that. The guy threw
So you are banking off everything that you're saying off of one game. That's
I'm banking everything that I've seen off. I've now seen, an MVP season from him. I've seen him win. He wins a lot. I know, back him down for all you want for, losing in the playoffs, but he's at least won a playoff game now, and he's only been in the league for what? 2, we'll say 3, but it's more like 2.5 years. And the guy's a proven winner. He was down 19 points yesterday, and what did he do? He ended up throwing for 440 passing yards. He had an 86% completion percentage in the comeback stages of the game, and he brought his team back from way down to win against a good Indianapolis team that, I like to compare to the Chiefs a lot in this situation. They're a team with a lot of talent that's just cold right now. It'll take some time for them to get heated up, but once they do, they're going to be just as lethal as always. The Colts always start out cold, though. We've seen that every year. I don't think they've won a first game of the season in like 8 seasons. It's something crazy like that. I saw that number the other day. But yeah, I would say, yeah, we've seen everything we need to see from Lamar. I've seen him rush plenty of times. I think we've all kind of seen that. Yesterday we saw the arm. We've seen him come back. We've seen really everything out of him. I don't know what else we would need to see to be like, this guy isn't
more than one playoff win. How about that?
Wait.
How about a Super Bowl? How about Mr. Lamar Jackson? Oh, I guarantee a Super Bowl in Baltimore in my first 5 years, right?
He hasn't been there 5 years. We don't know. And this year, it looks like they're going to have a shot.
A shot at another first-round exit. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you guys. I am so freaking proud of you guys. Come on, man. Come on.
I don't know. It kind of just seems like a Bills-Packers kind of year, huh?
Yeah, I guess so, right? We'll be right back, guys, on the 1 hour. I need to figure this out. We'll be right back. Break time.
Are we off?
Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the Man. I'm trying to get the raffle working properly, but for whatever reason, it's being dumb. Much like Mr. Wyatt Williams is being dumb, because you know what? Lamar Jackson is always going to be trash 100%. There is no question in my mind whatsoever. But Wyatt's shaking his head in disbelief. Wyatt, you've been away all NFL season for me, and your Green Bay Packers last Sunday pretty much just sucked it up, Wyatt. Let's just be flat out honest. Yeah, they came out with the win, whatever. But Mason Crosby missed 5 field goals? It's absolutely something ridiculous, right?
Wild.
Yeah. So Joey says, "Let me call you real quick." Okay, call me, Joey. You know the phone number. But so while we wait on Joey, we'll go ahead and tell me about your Green Bay Packers, man. Why do the kickers suck so bad right now?
I don't know if it was a windy day in Cincinnati or if it was just a bad week for kickers. I mean, I don't know. It was crazy. I saw a meme that said, I'm in the middle of watching the game. And I'm surfing through Twitter, seeing what all these people are saying about the game. And I see a meme come across my screen, and it says, both Packers and Bengals should just be awarded a loss after this one. Because you have Crosby shanking all these, and then, McPherson steps up and shanks a bunch of them. So it was pure chaos in Cincinnati for kicking field goals. And I don't know how McPherson on his second one, where he thought he made it, didn't look at all like he made it. He 100% went to the left side of the pole.
Yeah.
With the way the TV was angled, the right side on our side. But he starts jumping up and down and celebrating, and I'm like, dude, you just missed it. And then once he realized, he's like, oh gosh. And if you look after the game, he went up to Mason, and you can't hear the conversation, I don't think, but you can see what his mouth is saying. He's like, did you see? Oh, I can't believe I missed that. I was jumping up and down like I hit it, and I ended up missing it.
Yeah. So speaking of missing, Joey's dad did not miss. What's up, Joey?
Wait, hold on. What was that?
I said your dad didn't miss. I mean, congratulations on being conceived. Happy birthday. Oh. So what's up, Joey?
Back to what I was gonna say. I was at the Bengals game. There was something wrong with Crosby. I was watching him practice. Before a game, he was making a 45-yarder at one point. And I don't know what was up with him that day. There must have been something in the air. It wasn't really windy. There's a light breeze here and there. No. He just sucking it up that whole game.
Yeah. So you saw him pregame and he was just missing pregame kicks too?
No, he was making them, but when it came down to game time, couldn't make one.
Well, he made the previous 2, right? Just missed the following 3, and then made the game-winning one. So he was 3 for 6.
And he missed an extra point too.
Yeah, true. Maybe Joey, it was just because you were there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Joey,
he heard me. He heard me all the way up in the grandstand.
Yeah. So Joey, as a Packers fan, how did you feel about your kicker? Potentially losing you the game more than once.
Listen, I was up in section high up there. I don't even know what his number was, but I was crying for the first half there. And then I was excited the second half when the Bengals kicker missed it. Then I was crying again because Mason missed it.
Yeah.
And he finally came back and made another one.
So
my gosh.
So
and
so
then hold on.
Okay.
After we got out of the stadium, we parked in this parking garage. We could not find our car. We had to go all the way up to the 9th floor to the first floor. We couldn't find it.
Well, that's kind of dumb.
We walked right past it.
You should have known where you parked. Come on, man. You're supposed to take a picture or something.
That's why I literally said I should take a picture of this, but no, I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, you have a phone that should be able to help you out.
It was dead. I came out. It was dead.
Okay, so let me ask you this question: what do you think of Lamar Jackson? Is he elite quarterback?
Elite? Give it a couple more years. He'd be elite.
A couple more years. So I mean, this is why this is his 4th year, in the league.
Yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is he needs 7 years to prove himself as elite. Patrick Mahomes needed
Well,
2
no,
years to prove
he's
that
gonna
he
need
was elite.
at least a couple more. He's gonna need at least 3 more years to get this straight and bring a Super Bowl to Baltimore.
That's not going to happen.
How do you know?
There's a better chance for the New York Jets to win a Super Bowl before the Baltimore
Travis
Ravens.
Kelce got me
Stop
7
it.
points on fantasy. I want to hear it, Mr. Kansas City.
If you listened to the show last night, I'm done with the Kansas City Chiefs too. Like, you know that I fired everybody. But with that being said, when you look at Lamar Jackson, you are telling me that it takes 3 years to make, or 3 more years to make him elite. So are you looking at, and does he need to have another 10 games like he had to be considered elite?
Well, actually, I take that back. He's not gonna need a couple more years. He is elite right now.
Oh, hashtag waffle. Waffle merch is live at manhourradio2.com, by the way.
Shut up. Oh my gosh.
It is. Like, if you're going to waffle it right. Be like, yeah, Lamar Jackson's the greatest. He's MVP caliber. Like, if you're going to waffle,
Well, he already won
good,
MVP.
man. I'm talking this year. The only reason why
He is. If he's in the MVP voting already.
No, he's not. It doesn't matter. There's
Yes,
Josh
he is.
You can say what you want. It is absolutely ridiculous to think that. But Joey, Lamar Jackson is elite. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes. Why? Why is he elite?
because fast. I don't know. He's fast.
Because he had one game he threw over 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. That's all we need to know. Thanks for the phone call, Joey. I appreciate it.
No,
man.
no, please don't.
Oh, you got 2 more minutes.
Okay, 2 more minutes. Listen, I'm gonna say one thing about the Green Bay Packers. This year is our year. We are going to the Super Bowl. We don't have to win the Super Bowl. We are going to the Super Bowl. I don't care.
This is
We
a
have
great
proved
Packers
everybody
fan.
wrong.
We're
Aaron's
going for
gonna
second
leave.
place,
Aaron
guys.
doesn't want
We're
to
going
be
for
in the
second
Packers
place.
organization anymore. What is that? 4-1. 4-1. Proving y'all wrong.
Yeah. Joey, you are a typical waffle fan. A Packers fan. Hey, guys, we want second place. We want to lose a Super
I don't
Bowl.
want second place. Joey, we're winning the Super Bowl this year, bro. We're not just
Better.
going, we're winning. You got
Absolutely
to say
ridiculous.
that. You can't say we're losing in the Super Bowl.
I
If
said
you
we
lose in the
do.
Super
I
Bowl,
said
then
we
it's
have
not
to-
your
we have to
year.
We have to at least just go to the Super Bowl. I am tired at school. Joey, when's the last time the Packers went to the Super Bowl? He's a Bears fan. I said, when's the last time y'all went to it? 2006. Shut up.
Hey,
Man, I've had it. All right. I'm going to
Joey.
leave now.
No, one more question.
Okay.
Have you hit the like button on the YouTube stream?
No, I have not yet, but I will.
Make
I got this
make sure
phone call.
you enter in the raffle too. I misspelled Beastie. It's like it's BC. So BEASY. Also, what is your prediction of the Packers' final record this season?
I don't even know, man.
Go ahead and just say that.
I don't know.
Just come on, blurt out a number, man. You told them Super Bowl elite. Give me a record.
I don't know.
Come on, man. 15-3, 14-3, 15-2.
14-3.
14-3. 14-3. There you go.
It doesn't matter, Joey. That is a mute. We muted Joey. Did you like that? It doesn't. Guys. It is time to get into Jon Gruden talk. Mr. The Wyatt Williams, as Drew comes and says, waffle ours are like ours us. So, guys, if you guys have been living under a rock, you know by now that Jon Gruden has resigned from his position as a Raiders coach. We broke that to you guys last night on the Man Hour before ESPN because we had some inside sources at the New York Times. Shout out to Big Brandon BC Combs there. BC merch is giving away tonight. Use hashtag BC in the comments and to get entered in the raffle. But with that being said, Wyatt, we've heard that he used racial slurs, aka called a guy had big lips, said he had big lips. Apparently that's racially motivated, but we digress on that. And then he used sexual orientation words, calling people by the wrong names and etc. to that effect. But the biggest thing that has recently come out And you know what? I seen Luke G just pop up here on the screen as well. So let's welcome Luke G onto the show and invite him into this conversation. But Wyatt, I'm going to ask you this first. I recently just got a notification saying that Jon Gruden has topless pictures of the cheerleaders from the Washington football team.
Yeah,
and
he
like,
forwarded those.
Yeah, and like,
Yeah, it's
and
only getting
like-
worse.
And like that is why basically he had to resign. So I have a poll going over here at youtube.com/manhour. Should have Jon Gruden quit his job? So why, after hearing this, and it is just getting deeper and deeper. 7 years of these racially motivated emails, topless pictures. Heck, it could be they could be sharing cocaine like at this point too. What are your
Wouldn't be
thoughts?
surprised.
What are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. It was just honestly, I was just surprised, hit out of left field, because just 2 days ago we were all talking about how they weren't even going to suspend him. This was just going to go under the rug. It was going to be okay. And then once they said that, because it was only one email, then 6 emails landed on Mark Davis's desk.
Yeah.
That turned into 10. That turned into 15. That's now around 20 emails that have all surfaced of some stuff that, if you go through and read the content of the email, whether if the NFL is trying to move away from, racism and other things, whether if they're trying to move away from it or not, this is someone that you probably shouldn't put yourself around, as a person, because some of the stuff that was said is not the greatest. Some of the stuff that we're kind of seeing today, especially, as it really surfaces. I'm not going to explain some of the details. If you want to look it up, that's good for you. But yeah, I mean, especially in a league, whether if the, whatever political stance you stand on this, because I'm sure there's going to be two sides, as there is to everything. No matter where you stand on this, the NFL is doing everything they can to move away from the words, or from the word of racism and all that. So that, it's on the helmets, it's on the end zones, it's everywhere, it's in commercials. So you had to kind of know once this happened that no matter what, whether if there was one email or if there was 20, no matter what, you kind of have to know that it's over. I mean, it's coming. So this was just something that Jon Gruden was able to run away from for a long time, and it finally caught him. It's something that, when you ultimately look back on it, he shouldn't have said anything. He shouldn't have said anything that he said. Some of the stuff he said was just horrible. But, on top of the fact that you shouldn't say it, in today's society where, the term racism is so heavily looked at, any kind of issue you have, it's over. And that's the thing with Jon. Like I said, he spent years kind of running away from this, and I think that it just kind of caught up to him yesterday. Is basically what happened.
So Luke G, first things first, guys, give a big shout out to Luke G. Head over to Luke G's field review at YouTube. Be sure to give him some love. Hit that subscribe button and like button for it, because he does Detroit Lions talk, which Luke G will talk about your Detroit Lions moving forward here. But what are your thoughts of this whole Jon Gruden thing? I'm kind of throwing you into in the fire. We didn't have the time to prep or anything, but what are your first raw reactions of this, hearing this?
I'm a Lions fan. I love the Lions. I think the Lions are dope. I rock with the Lions, but I'm also a fan of the Buccaneers, and I'm a fan of the Seahawks, and I've been that way since I was a kid. And so when Jon Gruden won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers, my first thoughts was, how convenient was it for him to do that with Tony Dungy's team against a team that he was traded from, that he knew all the plays. Oh, it took so much preparation for that game. God, right? They knew all the calls. They knew everything, every formation. So when I saw that, I said, And ever since that Super Bowl, he was hot garbage. He was never good. And he did a number of different things that people thought were funny and comical and just out there. When I heard about these emails, the first thing that I thought about was, why do people think things are private when you send it across the web? You can't even have private phone conversations anymore. Why do something that's going to be in ink, that's going to be stuck on a digital signature for your life? So for me, when I see all these things coming out and now he has to deal with the backlash, to me, it doesn't matter, because guess what's going to happen? In about 2 or 3 years, he's going to have a job back in the broadcasting booth. Richie Incognito is still playing in the NFL. He has made a number of disparaging racial comments and strange things. Bill Romanowski was another one. And this has been the nature of the NFL as a whole. This is what they do. Instead of it being something that should not be in the sport, it's being concealed. And when it gets concealed, it's a problem. Back in the day, football players beat the brakes off of their wives, and it was never talked about. But now, when people say it's enough, they want to get involved and talk about it. And so for me, this is much of the same that I have always seen and experienced personally myself with different double standards that go opposite of people for color. It is what it is. He's still going to have a way to profit at the end of the day, and there's no real consequence to him. He has no real suffer. He has no real cancel culture. He already apologized. He's going to apologize again, and he'll be given another opportunity.
Yeah, so this is the one thing, like, I guess good about the NFL maybe per se is it is a league of second chances. Heck, look at the who is the defensive end that was for the Panthers? He like beat his wife like 8 times, and then he went to the Cowboys. Like they played. Was that who was that? You guys remember? Like his name slipped in my mind. But anyways, the NFL is a league of second, and third chances. Heck, the offensive lineman for the Seahawks this offseason, what strangled his wife, right, to death almost, and it's like, oh, I'm surprised you are alive still. He will be back in the league next year. I can almost guarantee you that. I would bet my glass of sweet tea here that that would happen. But on
You doubling down on it too?
Yeah, I'm doubling down because this is twisted sweet tea. Don't get that twisted. But I want to bring up some things that were said on other airways, and I want to bring this into perspective here, guys. On just like what do you guys think of this? Like somebody says you are who you are and you will get exposed. I mean, I feel like Jon Gruden emails were kind of like talking to a friend. I mean, like, obviously this Bruce guy was his friend, right? And they're just kind of like drinking some beers at, like, talking. High school kids talk like this all the time. College kids talk like this like all the time. Is it really a big deal? I mean, like, I'm being devil's advocate here one way or the other, but are they really exposing the racial tensions that Jon Gruden has, Wyatt?
In a sense, I think that's a tough one. I would say, yeah, kind of, yeah. I think it kind of exposed it because, like I said earlier, this is something that happened a while ago, and that's something that a lot of people are jumping to, like saying, like, hey, this happened, some of this stuff happened 10 years ago. And I think that this is just something that he knew was always there, and he's been running away from this for a while. And like I said, I think this is just something that caught up to him. I think that he ran, for years from it and was able to evade it and stay away. But finally, once that first email was sent, and we don't know who it was. What I did think that was weird was that neither Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, none of those guys who normally break big stories, none of those found out it was the New York Times, of all people, like, of all places. So I feel like this was something that somebody had against Jon, and kind of like the old saying of you should always be nice to people because you don't know who they are.
Right.
This was someone that he maybe wasn't nice to back in the day, and they finally got a position above him, and they were like, hey, New York Times, here's this email that I was forwarded from this person that Jon Gruden sent it to. And then once that happens and all that breaks, then everybody else who's got one wants to be a part of the story. So they're going to submit theirs. So like I said, this was coming. It was ultimately coming because no matter what, your digital footprint, wherever you go, whatever you do is always being tracked. Right. And, literally whenever you sign on to a website, it says, do you accept cookies? Which basically allows them to track what you do at every moment. And if you don't accept it, then you have to leave the website. So, and everybody always accepts cookies.
Forget the cookie
Do
part
what?
of it. Just forget the cookie part of it, right? The moment you type
Right.
your stuff into there, it's digitally put into the computer. You can
Yeah.
right click right now, go to certain parts of your browser, and you can physically see everything you've been to. It
Right.
tracks everything. It's with a bunch of ones and zeros.
Well, and even if you clear your search history, none of that stuff matters. There's still ways that they can tap into your phone and see what you've done. So that's just kind of my thing with it is he's been running from this for a long time, and a digital footprint is a real thing, and it's 100% been behind him. And this was just something that was finally, the ugly end of this was finally able to catch up to him. I think that's what this was.
Yeah, what you guys don't know is Project XX kind of concerns of my digital footprint of actually how smart I am. So be prepared for that. Project XX is coming here very, very soon. So stay tuned to that. So Luke G, one other thing, let me pull up, make sure I don't misquote them. Jon Gruden also had emails complaining about the safety aspect of the NFL back in like 2007, 2006, when the NFL was still trying to cover up the whole CTE and concussion scandal and like all that thing. Do you think Jon Gruden really meant what he said by like, this is making the game soft, this is crap, you gotta, or was just, two guys having a conversation spitballing?
No, he freaking meaned it. Hell, I thought that there are certain parts of the game that I think is making it soft. I think if you look at the NFL today, that the way it's set up, it's a disproportionately disadvantage to the defense.
Oh, facts.
Like we won't even have those defenses. We would never see another 2000 Ravens. We would never see a 2004 Bucks. We won't see a 2011 Detroit Lions or we won't see those defenses no more. It's all tailored towards the offense looking pretty and putting up points for fantasy football. And he saw that it was going towards fantasy football, but he also understood that in this game of football, you have to be tough. So yeah, he definitely meant it. I mean, is the way he worded it the best? No, but he meant every word of what he said. He believed that it made the game tough because I think that the game is softer now than it ever was. Even with the way that they practice, it's even been questioned. How many hours can they practice and what things can they do or cannot do, in my opinion. So yeah, he meant it. He meant every word of it, especially at the time that he sent it.
Hell.
What he didn't expect was for it to come back to bite him in the butt.
Yeah, hell, high school football soft right now. If it's over 90 degrees, you can't practice. It's too hot, but whatever.
Oh, no. Well, the lawsuits added up, the heat strokes and all that. But I get it. Yeah. I get it. But he was trying to, he was trying, because he was never a big fan of fantasy football. In fact, there was even an incident, I want to say, was when he was coaching the Buccaneers and they was having one of them crappy years. One of the players was playing fantasy football. He disciplined him for doing it.
Huh. I didn't know that. That's crazy. Why?
Yeah, that happened.
Wow.
Why? What are your thoughts on the whole CTE thing and Jon Gruden's comments?
I think it's the biggest problem that he had too, and this is where the CTE part of it comes in, is, everybody, talks crap, I feel like, about their boss in a work situation. Granted, I've never really been in that kind of work situation, so I don't know, but I can just say from seeing it, from hearing people talk about it, nobody's really a big fan of their boss normally, and everybody kind of talks back about him. And this was just another case of him doing that and then getting caught on it. And that's when he was talking about Roger Goodell. I think that was another thing that kind of killed him too, is the one person, Roger Goodell, who could kind of go to bat for him on this. Once he found out that he was saying all this stuff about him, it was over before, but that just kind of guaranteed it, because at that point there was nobody on his side. Because why, Gruden's like, oh, why would I defend this guy whenever he just called me all these names on this email and called my league soft and all this stuff and, said all this stuff about me? Why would I defend him when he did that? So
let me defend Gruden in a way, just to be devil's advocate here. I'm not on one side or the other. I just want to put that out there straight up. So, Luke G, let me ask you this cool question. All this stuff happened, 10 years ago, and then 7 years. I don't know if it was 7 years prior or 7 years after. I didn't read that part of it. But all of this happened when Jon Gruden wasn't employed with the NFL. Should he have quit his NFL job when he did stuff not in the NFL?
Yes. You know why? Because he's going to get fired anyway. He's already on a hot seat. And if anything, I can leave with this controversy, still maintain relationships with those same people. Because let's be honest, the Davises ain't giving too many flying nickels. Let's be honest, right? Like they're not acting like they're, oh God, we lost a great coach. You know, like that don't make no sense. That's not how it works. The reality is this: Jon Gruden made some words, and you have to live by those words. If I said something as a well, no, I ain't got to make it that way. There have been people who have made points or said things as kids who were still held accountable. He shouldn't be no different.
Yep.
Like what makes him different? Yeah, I resign, because if you don't resign, it's a black eye on the league. And not only is it a stain on the league in sorts, it goes to what has always been an issue amongst the league and its players. We're a league of predominantly African American players, and we have owners who say things like, who was that? Jerry Jones? No, that wasn't Jerry. Who said that we can't let the plantation run them or something like that? Who said it? Was
Probably
somebody.
Snyder in Washington.
I forget. It was something like that. We can't let them run the plantation, or
I
it
don't
was
know
something
who
that they
said that, yeah.
said.
If I had to guess, it's probably Snyder.
I feel like it was Jerry Jones that said something like that, but I can't prove it. But these statements have been made before, and nothing has been done. But then let one of those athletes have an incident off the field that don't evolve around them. They get suspended. They get fined. They get docked. They get told that you know, oh, you lose your paycheck because you got caught with a DUI. And I'm the first person to tell you I'm against drunk driving, right?
Me too.
But those people get punished for things that they did off the clock. If I go do something off the clock, I get punished. If you do something off the clock, you get punished. This is the way of the world. It is what it is, and he should have been punished.
What are your thoughts on that?
I agree 100%. I think absolutely. Looking back on it, especially some of the stuff he said. I mean, if this would have been an issue that was 10 years ago and, it wasn't that bad, you know what I mean? Then I feel like there are ways we could, move around this, maybe a slap on the wrist. But with as much content as there was, and with as horrible as some of the stuff he said was, and especially with the homophobic issue, the only active gay player in the entire NFL is on your roster. So I feel like that right there just, stirs the pot. And Carl, honestly, I said this last night. I think Carl Nassib is the one who's going to catch the brunt end of this, because this guy just came out, and that's a really big thing. And, he's trying to do it real fast, but let it go, get on with life, continue the football season. Don't let it be a distraction. And as soon as it all kind of fizzles out and goes away, his coach comes out and is a homophobe, a racist, a misogynist, all this stuff. And now it's just going to get brought back up. Now Carl's going to be, oh, what do you have to say about your coach being homophobic? People are going to really press into Carl about this. So, excuse me, I feel like Carl's kind of the one that's going to catch the bad end of this.
I could see that in a sense, but also Jon Gruden is no longer around either. So,
well, yeah, but that's kind of the thing that I will say. What are they doing? So I've seen so many different things. I've seen that, he's going to get his $70 million that he was still owed left on his contract, something like that.
Really,
but I've also seen that
That's
he's not going to get it.
That's a real bad punishment. Oh God, I wish I can go out and be as disrespectful and as dismissive as he is and still get paid to do so. I mean, why would I not do it? 70 million. Let's say they don't take. Let's say they decide to take that money away from him. He still has ownership of the Raiders.
Yeah,
we're not talking about that part of it. Every ticket sale, every thing, he's get a percentage off of that. If you're not going to strip him down to the bare minimum that he's working at a car lot, the punishment is just not really a punishment, is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of more of a like, well, let's just sweep this under the rug. Here's your $50 million still. We'll just part ways on the surface, but behind the scenes, we're still working together. But Luke, you brought up a key point there. You said that Jon Gruden was kind of already on the hot seat just because he wasn't a good coach. Let's say he was a great coach. Let's say he was I don't know who's a good coach
Bill
right now.
Belichick.
Bill
Belichick. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Let's say he did that. Let's say he had emails 10 years ago, 15 years ago that just surfaced, using the same exact verbiage and language. Would Bill Belichick have a job?
Yes.
No.
Yes, he would. He would. Yes. Yeah, oh, yes, he would. It's happened before. There have been other coaches who were winning and successful coaches who have made weird statements. There have been owners who have made weird statements, and other things like that. And all of that still led to certain things to where they were doing it. See, now what the problem is there are more people willing to get into a lawsuit. And so when you start to mess with the other people's money, then yeah. But what they would have did with Bill Belichick, they just said, hey, you're going to go to the Hall of Fame. You can step down, and Bill would have said, I'm not stepping down. And Robert Kraft would have been like, yeah, I support him, but I'm going to suspend him. And they would have suspended him for a whole season because he won't be the first head coach to be suspended for the whole season, will he?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he still had a job.
So why you said he wouldn't have a job? Why?
No. Well, I just think, yes, there have been moments in history where racism has been, well, not moments. There's been a lot of racism toleration in history, and now more than ever, I think it's not tolerated. So, and especially at some of the stuff he said. Once again, if it was just a lighter issue, but really, I think you should dive deep into those terms that he used for some of the people, and just see some of the disgusting stuff that he said. I don't think anybody in this cancel culture world survives using some of the stuff he did. I mean, it's just like 10 years ago or not, great coach or not, some of the stuff that was said, I mean, it's horrible. It's horrible. So that's the one where I do have to say I disagree. I don't think anybody can survive with some of the stuff that he said. I just don't. It's not tolerated anymore.
Winning cures all, though, Wyatt. Let's just be flat out honest. When you win,
that is a good point.
Everything gets swept under the rug. Do you guys remember the massage stripper scandal in the Super Bowl with Robert Kraft? No, because he won. Everything got swept under the rug, right?
Right.
Right. I mean, let's just be honest about it. So we do have Luke G on the show tonight. Luke G does have a Detroit Lions show that he does on YouTube.com. So search for Luke G's field review. I do have the link in the description. Luke, tell people all about your show before I rip into your Detroit Lions, man.
Well, you might have me rip into the Lions with you, but basically, I have a show. It originally was going to be a show talking all football, but basically, what ended up happening was I noticed that there was a disproportionately representation for the Detroit Lions, and I said, look, people are not being fair, and even in our own community, there was nobody willing to go in and look at film. So I go in and look at film. I look at film for games. I look at film for draft picks. I'll go through it. I'll look at different stats and try to see that those stats match up to the film, because the film is what I go by. And then I talk all things Detroit Lions. I talk news. I do predictions. I do different things like that. I have an open forum to where any person who wants to come on and talk football of any source can do it. In fact, it's how I found the Man Hour. I was like, hey, y'all want to come talk some ball? Let's talk it. And it's an open forum. So it's a channel that's designed for fans in general who love football, but who's in love with the Detroit Lions and feel that the Lions are not getting fair representation. And it's about being objective, and that's what I do.
Yeah, and so you brought some key words there. You were being objective, a fair shot, and Luke G, the last 2 seasons, I have given your Detroit Lions a fair shot. I said they were going to win the NFC North this year, go 11-7, right? Or no, 11-6, and then I backed down from that and said 10-7. Right now, they're sitting at 0-5. Luke G.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a reason why I should not jump off this bandwagon, burn it, and crucify you guys for the next 15 years.
The coaching staff, the culture as a whole. Let's just go through and look at it. Game 1, I thought would have been a home field advantage for us. Apparently, the 49ers traveled extremely well. That was a shocker to me, being at that game and seeing how many red jerseys it was. But even in that game, they was able to put up like 23 points in 9 minutes and get some turnovers and turn it around. That's something you wouldn't have seen in the past. You go to the second game against the Packers. They definitely dominated the first half of that Packer game, but then in the second half, they got away from the game plan, and it just went downhill from there. Now, I can go through every game and show you the things, but like it took the breath of God himself to make a ball not only get that far, but bounce on the upright, where majority of the time it bounces out, but it bounces in on that one. And then it turns around the week after. Another long kick after a guy had missed every kick that was short. He miraculously make a 54-yard field goal. This team is so much more closer than people think. And the thing that people don't realize is this. This is a team that's not only young. I think they might be the youngest or the second youngest team in the NFL. But this is a team that's young, riddled with injuries. If I would have told you that we were going to lose our left tackle and our center, and that we were going to move our rookie, who we drafted to play right tackle, over to left tackle, we were going to lose our center and put a guy there who we picked up off the street, and took a guy that we took from D tackle and made a right tackle, and still have enough gall to run the ball down people's throats, to still have the gall to protect the quarterback, you would have said, bull. If I would have told you we would have lost every single cornerback, and then we were going to throw in our third, fourth, fifth, and sixth cornerback, and still have a defense to not only hold a Ravens team who seemed to light everybody else up to how many points? 19. Hold the Vikings to 19 points. You would have called bull on it. And they did all of that with a young team that's lacking in experience and a coach who's trying to get it done. Plus, he cares about this team. So don't throw it out the window. They still have 8 winnable games on their schedule.
Why can you cue the fake tears just like what Dan Campbell did it in the press conference because
Did you
he
call
cares
them
so much
fake?
about this team? Yeah, those were fake
I don't think they
tears.
were fake.
Those were
I think
fake
that's
tears.
pure frustration of loss.
You're talking about a
And,
guy
like-
who joined. You're talking about a guy who was on a team that went 0-16, who comes back to try to turn things around, and he's getting that close every single time, and it's taking the most amazing miracles in football history to happen to them for us to lose. He's frustrated.
You can be frustrated all you want, but those were fake tears. This team is, Luke, I was on the Detroit Lion bandwagon, man. Last night or 2 nights ago, I mean, I crucified them. They were dead to me. I wish they would not win another 5 games for the next 15 years. I am so upset with this team, and try to bring me back on this bandwagon, man. Tell me that, you guys can still go 8-9, salvage some type of season out of this. Tell me that so I can feel better about my crucifixion.
There are 8 wins. There are 8 games I think that are winnable. And I think what you're seeing is a team that is very close. It reminds me of so many other teams. I remember when the Seattle Seahawks started their run. They went 7-9.
Yep.
And that next year, we would start talking about we got to find a name for their defense. They're the Legion of Boom and all that stuff, right? You go all the way back into previous history, not previous, but like super far back in history, the Dallas Cowboys. They have a very young team that comes and make the playoff by the hair of their chins, and they go against the Detroit Lions, and the Detroit Lions destroy them in the playoffs. The next year, they're in the Super Bowl winning, and we're talking about the Great Wall of China and how great Jimmy Johnson is. This team has those same makings. Right now, we're just riddled with injuries and stuff like that. And I think what you have to do and take into account is that the Lions are a team that is more on the up and come than any other team that picked ahead of them this year. They're in better position, in my opinion, than even I'll say the 49ers, because I don't think Trey Lance, I think he's gonna need at least 2 or 3 years of prayer. From what I just seen. I'm like, holy smokes. And there's no guarantee Shanahan's going to be there in that time. And then you go through, you look at Trevor Lawrence. I'm pretty sure Urban Meyer is going to be a one and done. I think he's plotting his escape as we speak. And then the Houston Texans, you go down the list with them. Nothing special there. So, yeah, I think this is a team that there's no reason for you to burn it up. There's no reason for you to lose hope. I think you just got to be able to look at it a little bit different and put it in perspective.
So why you are a Packers fan, you know all about false hope, year in and like year out. Do the Lions have a chance to even get 7 wins now?
I mean, yeah, I will say I do agree with Luke G on this one. The biggest the most impressed I have been with this Lions team is really Jared Goff. I think he's a guy that I've kind of lost a lot of faith in over the last season or two. And he's looked really good this year. I've been actually very impressed by the way that he's playing. And on top of that, you can tell this team is passionate. You know, you mentioned earlier the coach. You know, you can see these things. It would definitely be tough to lose by the NFL record kick that grazes the crossbar and then goes in, followed by another field goal loss. You know, they are in these games. They are competing in these games. So, yeah, I mean, that would definitely be tough to start out 0-5 and you're in, what, 4 of those games? 3 of those games? So
They could easily be 3-2 right now.
they really could, especially if Justin Tucker's bounces the other way. They'd at least have one win. So
or take it a step further. Take it a step further. If you look at that last game that they had against the Vikings, they just couldn't score, right? And it took Dan Campbell to point out one of the issues, which was the quarterback. And I know people are going to say, well, if the quarterback is the issue, what they don't want to look at it that way. But I keep trying to explain to people that one of the biggest problems that I'm having with this team mostly is the fact that we know what Jared Goff is at this point. What are you going to do to adjust it so he's not the guy? Because we haven't had a game yet where one of our running backs have had over 14 rushing attempts.
Right.
That's shameful.
So you're saying how to fix the Detroit Lions is give them 20 or 20 carries or or so, and that will turn your tides a little bit.
They should basically do what the Seattle Seahawks did for Russell Wilson. Run it until you can't run it no more. Because if you think about Russell Wilson, all the great things he's done it with a run game. When that run game was gone, that team did not do well.
Right. Absolutely right. Wyatt, any final thoughts before we get in with Cooking with Tori?
Yeah, well, I wanted to ask Luke G real quick because, you know, this is something we talked about earlier. Luke, do you consider Lamar Jackson's performance last night as elite? Because Buck here does not consider 400 and almost 50 passing yards elite.
Pause. I did not say that game was not elite. Lamar Jackson is still not elite. That's what I said.
You said, what did you see last night that showed you he was elite?
I said, yeah.
You said he had one good half.
Yeah, he had one good half. Actually,
Luke G, did Buck watch a completely different game than us, or did you watch the same? What do you think?
I watched the same game Buck watched. I can go back to even his MVP season where he can do all the running he wants and all the running that he needs. But overall, what I saw was a person that everybody always say is so elite because he's running and it's so flashy. And everybody like the shiny, new, flashy player. But the reality is this. They have literally tried to claim when he had a down season, which he did the year before, they tried to claim that he didn't have receivers. And I'm thinking, that's a bunch of BS. And literally he had the same receivers now, but now he's so great. So it's like, no, we can't play this game. They do the same thing with Aaron Rodgers too. Swear to God, he ain't got no talent around him. And then as soon as he make one pass, he's Jesus. And so let's just be honest. In my opinion, am I ready to say that he's elite? No. Am I ready to say, because to me, him in and of itself can't carry a team. They still need to run the ball as they did the year he had the MVP season. And then when they got into the playoffs and that run game was deaded, look what happened to him. He was back to reality and looking real human. So I'm not ready to get him the elite card. I'm not one of the people that hype up on mobile quarterbacks. I'm also a person who didn't really think that Cam Newton was elite, and he did a whole lot of running. And it didn't amount to anything that I can really care much about. So for me, it's about being able to look at it and move away from the shiny toy. Everybody likes the fact that he can run, and that's cool. But the guys who are winning are sitting in the pocket doing their job. So
he did. He threw for 450 yards on 40 attempts yesterday and 4 passing touchdowns.
That's great. That's great if you're playing fantasy football. Like if you're playing fantasy football, you should be jumping for joy. You should be ecstatic. But if you talk about elite, let's go through and look at the word elite. Is Tom Brady elite?
Yes.
Is Peyton Manning elite?
Yes.
Drew Brees, is he elite?
Well, of course.
Can you put Lamar Jackson in that group?
I mean, I think we're looking at an all-timer group. That's a little
right there. Good job.
That's
Wyatt.
a little bit of a stretch, but I could put him in a Josh Allen, Kyler Murray. I could put him in today's Tom Brady. All-time Tom Brady? No.
Can you put Kyler Murray and Josh Allen in the group of elite quarterbacks? You can't. Nobody can say that and truthfully be serious. You can't. If they're elite, we could put him in a group of other elite players. And right now, that's like me sitting there, like, for example, Marshawn Lynch is elite. Barry Sanders is elite. You're not going to hear me tell you that DeAndre Swift is elite.
Those are Hall of Famers. Those guys passed elite. Elite is just you're the top of the game right now. You are one of the top people who play that game right now. I mean, you can be elite and still not make the Hall of Fame.
That's
Chad
true.
Ochocinco was elite and did not make the Hall of Fame.
That is very true. He should be in the Hall of Fame, though.
He should.
But and he will be in the Hall of Fame, because guess what they're going to do? They're going to say he's a part of that elite group. Lamar Jackson, I don't even see making a Hall of Fame. Like
I mean, until he wins the Super Bowl, I could agree with you there. But
he's not going to Hall of Fame.
He can win a Super Bowl. He's not going to Hall of Fame. Michael Vick, everybody was all in love with Michael Vick. He's so elite. He's so this and this and this. And I saw things in this game that I'm like, where's the eliteness at? Like, you get the ball on a fast snap, you can run. So guess what happened? Miami figured out how to do the same thing without that quarterback. Oh, it's called Wildcat. And it worked great for a long time. Why? Because anybody can have the ball snapped directly to him and run it. That's not the task of the quarterback. And I'm not trying to say that Lamar Jackson sucks. I'm not saying that. But when I think of elite, my list is a little bit different. Like, you have to be a Hall of Fame worthy person. Now, I do have a video where I said Jerry Davis is elite. I did, because I felt that he was one of those guys that if put in the right situation, he could have a Hall of Fame career. He was never going to be put in that situation in Detroit. They just wasn't using him like that. However, when I look at elite, I just say to myself, who are the elite players? Not who are the Hall of Famers.
Do you consider Aaron Rodgers elite?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Aaron Rodgers 100% is elite.
Luke G's level-headed, Wyatt. So don't try to get his fandom in it.
I was looking for the Combsy response in there somewhere.
No. You ain't gonna get that with me. You ain't gonna. Cone sometimes, like when the Bears beat us, I felt all the energy of Cones, and I'm like, it's so funny because the Lions lost the game more than the Bears beat us. That's how pathetic that was. Yeah. It's a shame.
It is a shame.
Five trips to the end zone, we get no points. How? How is that possible?
It's crazy.
That is very, very true. But Luke G, thank you for joining us, man. We got Cooking with Tori coming up right here, guys. So sit back and relax. Enjoy 5 minutes of Mr. Tori Anderson. We'll be back momentarily.
Hi, my name is Tori, here with Man Hour Radio. You may recognize me from such shows as, well, I've only ever been on ESPN one time for Rock, Paper, Scissors, so maybe you recognize me from Man Hour Nation? I've been on a little bit of hiatus, kind of taking a break, concentrating on my new job, trying to get everything taken care of there. I will be back eventually once everything calms down for me. But right now, we're going to give you a little segment of What's Cooking with Tori. And so what's cooking with Tori right now is we are going to prove Mr. Buckheister wrong again. Buck likes to say, Lamar Jackson is trash. Lamar Jackson has more total yards right now than 18 NFL teams. That is teams, not just players, teams. He would be, I believe, the 13th or 14th ranked offense right now in the league by himself. That is stuff that you cannot mess with right there. Buck, I'm still going to live for the day that you say Lamar Jackson is not trash. I was wrong. It'll probably be the same day that I say Zach Wilson was a really good pick. But I digress. Who knows? So, speaking of football and games this weekend, I'm going to give you a little bit of a sleeper game to kind of, if you're looking to put money on a game this weekend and you really want to make some money, I'm telling you right now, the Thursday night game, Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, over under 52.5. That game is going over. Hands down, going over. And it will be because Tampa Bay absolutely throttles them. Tampa Bay could probably hang a 40 spot in the first half on Philadelphia's defense. Fletcher Cox, his head isn't in it right now. His name's being floated around in trade rumors. So right now, I'm going to tell you, put money on that, and I'm going to go right now over on that game. Tampa Bay 45, Philadelphia 24. So now, many of you also know I do a little fantasy football thing here. And if you hadn't been listening to me before, maybe you should now. I don't know. I'm looking at my record right now. And that says 5-0. I mean, if you could see it right there, TJ's Hookers, 5-0. I'm the best team in the league. If you haven't been paying attention yet, you need to. I, for one, am a fantasy football god. If you haven't picked up Cordero Patterson in your league, or for whatever reason nobody else in your league has picked him up, he's on bye this week. If you have a player you're like, pick him up. Running back, receiver. If you're in a PPR league, he's your dream player right there. He's turned into one of Matt Ryan's favorite players to go to. He's turned into one of the most explosive weapons in the entire league. And if you haven't picked him up yet, he needs to be on your fantasy football team. That's all I got for What's Cooking with Tori. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us wherever we may be. I think we're on Instagram. I don't know. I don't do the gram. So, but be sure to hit that like, subscribe button when you do tune into us. Go to Facebook, like us there. Go to Twitter, follow at @manhour_Tory. Follow Man Hour Radio there. Follow Buck at @manhour_Buck. Follow Combsy at @manhour_Combs. And I don't know, apparently Wyatt's still on the show. I haven't seen him in like forever, but you can follow him at @manhour_TWW. All right, guys, I miss you all. I will see you guys probably in a couple of weeks when everything in my life calms down. Until then, have a great day, and that's What's Cooking with Tori. Hi, my name is Tori, here with Man Hour Radio. You may recognize me from such shows as, well, I've only ever been on ESPN one time for Rock, Paper, Scissors, so maybe you recognize me from Man Hour Nation. I've been on a little bit of hiatus, kind of taking a break, concentrating on my new job, trying to get everything taken care of there. I will be back eventually once everything calms down for me. But right now, we're going to give you a little segment of What's Cooking with Tori. And so What's Cooking with Tori right now is we are going to prove Mr. Buckheister wrong again. Buck likes to say, Lamar Jackson is trash. Lamar Jackson has more total yards right now than 18 NFL teams. That is teams, not just players, teams. He would be, I believe, the 13th or 14th ranked offense right now in the league by himself. That is stuff that you cannot mess with right there. Buck, I'm still going to live for the day that you say Lamar Jackson is not trash. I was wrong. It'll probably be the same day that I say Zach Wilson was a really good pick. Hi, my name is Tori, here with Man Hour Radio. You may recognize me from such shows as, well, I've only ever been on ESPN one time for Rock, Paper, Scissors, so maybe you recognize me from Man Hour Nation. I've been on a little bit of hiatus, kind of taking a break, concentrating on my new job, trying to get everything taken care of there. I will be back eventually once everything calms down for me. But right now, we're going to give you a little segment of What's Cooking with Tori. And so What's Cooking with Tori right now is we are going to prove Mr. Buckheister wrong again. Buck likes to say, Lamar Jackson is trash. Lamar Jackson has more total yards right now than 18 NFL teams. That is teams, not just players, teams. He would be, I believe, the 13th or 14th ranked offense right now